Hi everyone and happy Monday. We have a very interesting picture here today from, I think it's from Secret Garden. I will check that before I put the video onto YouTube, so it will be in the details just in case you really want to know. So anyway, this is obviously Johanna Basford page. I'm pretty sure it's Secret Garden. And I've decided to use castle arts. I haven't used them for a while, so I thought, why not? Let's grab the castles out. And my castle art set has my Harmonious, my Pasteltint, and my regular soft touch pencils all mixed together in the set. I've got this huge swatch chart with all of them on. You can get this swatch chart for free on my Ko-fi. So if you've got all three sets, you want to mix them together, or you just want a bit of a nosy at what's available, you can grab those. There's swatch charts for the separate sets as well, so I think definitely for the Harmonious and the soft touch. I think there is one for the Pasteltint. Anyway, you can find those too. But let's get colouring, shall we? We're going right in the middle and start in the middle. This is, to me, looks like a sunflower. I don't know if you agree, but that's what I am thinking. So that's how I am going to colour. I'm just going to pop my light on, just for my own benefit. I don't know if it'll make a much difference for you. So because we've got this sort of seedy central area, I feel we'll start there and just do something quite dark. Now sometimes on sunflowers they have like yellow, red centres and things like that. I'm just going to do this in a brown. I'm just going to turn to my browns and grab something. Let's look at my swatch chart. I think a raw umber will probably work. So I'm going to grab that. There it is. It's getting quite short. I use this one a lot. Raw umber. And I'm just going to do the area, the little dots. Okay. Now what I want to do is I'm going to put a light layer all over just to get us going. But what I want to do with this is to make it look like it's not flat. Now in order to do that we need to add layers of different colours basically. Not two different colours but different layers of brown. You can sometimes manage to get the effect with just one brown, but I think it's a little bit easier if we use several shades, so I will show you. There we go. So that's just a basic layer. We'll come back and do a bit more of that pencil, I'm sure. But we're going to go in for a darker brown. We have a massive amount of browns in the soft touch. I'm probably only going to use a soft touch just to make it a bit easier for you guys. This is the burnt umber. I need it sharp. It looks a bit blunt. And I'm going to go around the edge with this. Now if you don't have the there is some cocoa mocha oak colours in the Harmonious which would do just as well, but you wouldn't be able to do this with just the Harmonious set because we're going to need some yellows. I'm actually going to pop my colour up here. Can you see in between these sort of seed shapes? I'm just going to put a bit of colour up the edge of there as well. It helps to sort of form a shadowy look to the very edge, which is what I want to achieve. Really dark bit just around here and go all the way around. I hope you're all well today. Monday morning, afternoon, sorry. Well, it depends where you are, I guess, and when you're watching. But Mondays can be a little bit, sometimes, can't they? But hopefully not for you. I always think it's a nice new week of colouring, so that's always good. But it's actually Saturday today, just to confuse matters. So been a busy bee. It's 2 o'clock almost, and I got up, did a few computery jobs, noticed I'd accidentally missed off 2 videos from the end of a series that I'd put up on YouTube, so I had to fiddle around with that, get that sorted out. Then I had breakfast, went for a quick walk along the canal to the supermarket, met my husband there. He drove because we needed the car. We then walked from there into town, did the farmers market, walked back to the supermarket, did the weekly shop. Now what I'm doing here is, as I'm coming towards the middle, I'm going to start to fade the amount of colour, and I'm not going to take this darker one all the way in. So just from here I'm trying to do quite a light application. Then I got home and I cleaned the bathrooms and vacuumed the house. I did some various promotional computer work, had to upload some videos. I'm back to my raw umber. I'm going to start about here and do a darkish layer. Yeah, I had to upload some videos, and then I realised one of them hadn't worked, so I'm re-exporting it. That's still doing. I did lots of promotional stuff, had loads of emails to sort out, and things like that. We're leaving this very centre bit, and we want to do that quite lightly. I am going to grab, the terracotta light. I was going to do the apricot twist, but that's a Pasteltint. That's going to be too light. So now, just for the centre, the terracotta light. And then, so it's doing all sorts of work before lunch. Then I cut the bread. No one was ready for lunch, so I weeded the garden. Then we had lunch, did a bit of a crossword, came back, did some more promotional computer work, and I've got a couple of blog articles to write for my Ko-fi. It's all fun and games today. Basically I released a new set of bookmarks. Now I've been putting bookmarks up. Now this doesn't look at all three-dimensional, it's not working. So I'm going to try something else, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So I'm going to try a black. I'm going to go right round the edge in a black and see if that helps. Oh, just broke the end of my black off when I was trying to sharpen it. That was clever. That's better. So yes, my husband's drawn some bookmarks, and they're available on his Ko-fi as a free download for anyone to print off and colour. But I decided, or was it me or someone gave me the idea, I can't remember, probably someone gave me the idea, that if I coloured them and sold them, then people might want to have a download them and print them off themselves. So I've had a go. It gives you the chance to own a little bit of my colouring. If you want to, you can print them off and use them for your own use, bookmarks, and as many times as you want. So I thought I would have a go and see whether people were interested. So I did a couple of sets so far. So we'll see. And because my husband's drawn them and given me permission to sell them, there's no worry about copyright, because I can't colour something like this and sell it. That's against the copy of Johanna's copyright. But my husband is quite happy for me to sell things of his that I've coloured. I'm going around here a bit lighter, so I thought I'd just give it a go. Yeah, because our inverter has broken. Gonna need to pay for that. Actually, burnt umber. My first quote was for nearly £3,000 from a big company who didn't really ask for much detail, so I think they were just quoting for the most expensive probability and hoping it wouldn't be, and just would profit from me. So this was just sort of doing less and less towards the middle. And then the raw umber again. And but I got in touch with a small local company who really knew what they were talking about. I think we had considered going with them when we had the panels fitted originally, but they were a bit expensive. And they quoted me a much cheaper price. So he said it does depend on what is wrong with it when he comes, whether it's a fault with the wiring rather than the actual thing. But we don't think it is. Because it was the inverter that was smoking, not the wiring. Right, I'm just grabbing the green gold, and I'm going to do the centre with that. And anyway, so he's coming to do that on Wednesday. So that's good news. It looks really dark in this bit. It's not quite that dark. Anyway, now we have our petals, obviously. I'm having a little think. We have these seed pods, tiny little triangles. These I think, yeah, I'm going to sharpen my green gold, and I'm going to use that for the sort of next layer of sort of seedy bits. These. I'm just going to try and make them a little bit darker around the edge and a bit lighter in the centre if I can. It's quite tricky with this colour, to be honest. I'm just going to do the best I can. That's all you can do as well. So yes, so I was thinking I need to try and get a bit more money. But anyway, we'll see what happens. It's all good. Allah will manage. And we always knew this was going to be an expense that we would have at some point. Someone actually told me, one of the many people I spoke to try and get help and quotes and things, not everybody was willing to help, said that although we got had the option of a 10-year warranty on the item, they tend to only last for 7 years, and ours has lasted for 14. So I think we've done rather well. But this new one will have a 10-year warranty, so that's good. I'm very happy about that. So yeah, that's our excitement. And I've also still been having a clear out, as I said in a previous video, thinking, you know, I don't want to get rid of colouring stuff. I have got rid of a couple of things, like nothing, no books, a couple of pens that a company sent me that I didn't like. They were like oil-based markers, whatever they're, alcohol markers, sorry, I'll get it right in a minute. And I'm just not a fan of those. And some other felt tip pens and sort of cheaper pencils and things like that, but not ones that I've been gifted. Those are precious and very much appreciated. I'm going to go around the edge with this and sort of fade it a bit towards the top, make it look like we've got a little gold lining. Now this is where I'm using my artistic license. Obviously a sunflower is not going to look like this, but I don't know what else to do with this little edge, so we'll have some fun with it. You could just colour over it, just do it as part of the petal if you'd rather make it look a little bit more realistic, but I don't think there's any need to make it look realistic, personally. Yeah, so I was just waiting. What's I waiting? Oh yeah, my husband was in the bathroom. I was waiting to brush my teeth, so I opened my bedside drawer, found something in there. Thought, oh, it was a necklace, which I don't think I've ever worn. I don't even know where it came from, but oh, I can give that to charity shop. And then my sister said she wanted a chain for a pendant she had, but unfortunately I couldn't get the pendant off the chain on this particular necklace. It's the way it was done, so I'll give that to charity. So it's just little bits. And then, you know, earlier I had to find a black pen to do my postal vote. Got a local county council election, and grabbed a pen, and it didn't have, it was dry. Another thing gone, you know. Just each little thing feels like a little step forwards at the moment, which is really nice. I'm just trying to do a little bit each day to keep it manageable. Now, petals. I am thinking golden yellow deep is really nice. Where are you? There. Oh, here it is. Golden yellow deep. I think, yeah, I think I'll just do those little triangle petals with this. Again, I need to sharpen it. That's an interesting noise I made, wasn't it? They're going to be quite bright. I am just going to block them in. They are so small. Well, too small for me anyway. So yes, little bit. And my sister was like, "You're so productive." I was like, "Yeah, it's because I've got a lot to do, and I've just got energy, you know, to do it. So it's nice taking advantage of it." And I said, "I'm not, you know, I'm having a clear out, but I'm not like going mad. I'm not like doing a whole room at once. That's, although I probably would be able to cope. It's time, really, because I don't want to abandon doing everything else. So it's just like, you know, I'm in a room, I just glance at a shelf and I look and think, oh, that, I can get rid of that, or whatever it might be. So it's just having a little look. I could probably do with doing it in a little bit more of a better organised fashion, because I'm just randomly doing this, that and the other here and there. This is the cadmium yellow light, and I'm going to use this for the main petals. I think I want to fade them towards the outside, so I'm going to layer it up here and then just try and fade it down. Oh, I've got a scratchy orange bit in there, that's a bit frustrating. Oh well, we'll just carry on, there's not much I can do. I suppose I can turn it slightly, try and use the other side. There we go, it's fine until I move around and I move it. So yes, I probably should have a slightly more organised approach, but you know, there's only so many bags I can take off to the charity shop at one go, so you know, I've had a go in here at some parts. I did a little bit of a shelf and a little bit of a pile of stuff and a box of things, you know, little bits, and it's making me feel so much better. So I'd highly recommend it. My sister had said something interesting to me. She said, because her husband doesn't get rid of stuff, same as mine, she used to think, well, why should I? Why shouldn't I keep stuff? Because he is. And I was having that attitude too, and we both were, and we both sort of started to accumulate things, and so we're both thinking it's time to, you know, just, you know, get that in check, really. I know that, for example, the kitchen probably doesn't have too many things in it that I wouldn't use. We have like serving dishes and things that I rarely use, because I rarely have people round, but we've got plenty of cupboard space, so they can just sit there. And I think that's been my attitude with a lot of the stuff. Well, I've got room, so, because she said to me, if you've emptied a drawer, what are you going to put in it? I was thinking, I don't know, but maybe I don't need to know. You know, maybe that isn't really part of the plan. The plan is just to feel less cluttered, and then maybe, you know, maybe I can think of that after, but we'll see. It's okay to have a drawer with just one thing in or be empty, I think. You know, and you never know what you might need it for later. Like in the kitchen, I always planned that I wanted a bit of space. When we did our kitchen when the boys were little, which we've just done it again recently, I wanted to have some cupboards that had space in, because I knew as the boys got older we would need more stuff. Like the food cupboard always had an empty area, sort of. I'm just gonna, now these two would just look a bit darker because of that scratchy orange bit, but I am just gonna go over these because I want them to look a little bit more intense at the bottom. So I'm just gonna try and make sure that really looks like it is. So yes, I designed the room so that there was space for stuff, extra stuff. So we had a couple of empty shelves for a while, and then once the boys got a bit older and they needed like snack bar, sort of snack foods for after school, you know, when I collected them, it would help them home if they had a little something to nibble and that sort of thing. And you know, so and lunch boxes and all sorts of things. So yes, we slowly filled up that space a bit, but we still weren't pushed, if you know what I mean. So I think it's okay to have a little bit of space. I quite like a little bit of shadow between these triangular bits and the petals to make it, and between these seeds as well, to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. I'm just trying to think of what colour might be best. I think I'm going to go for the burnt umber, and I'm going to sharpen it. My burnt umber's getting quite small, but I think I've got another one, because I'm lucky enough to have quite a few sets of castles. You know, I sort of got a botanical set, a Monet set, a landscape, no, not a landscape set, a 72 set and things like that. And so I can put some of those, I can swap them out. I mean, you don't have all of them, because the 120 set has certain pencils in that are unique just to the 120 set, and that includes things like the green gold, which is my favourite, of course. But as I do wear colours down, I will swap them in if I have them. I'm pretty sure this burnt umber is in the 72 set, but I can't be 100% sure. But it's quite nice to have those extra little sets to swap in. But as I say, you can't get every colour. And I think a lot of people have been asking Castle if they can do open stock, and apparently something they're thinking of. Oh, and news of Castle. Castle are bringing out at least 2 new sets of pencils, as far as I can tell. They put up something on their socials. I think it was just a story, so you may have missed it. And it was vote for your favourite Pasteltint design. And there was an autumn set about 2 weeks ago, and maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago actually. And then last week there was a winter set. So they're obviously trying to bring out more pencils. I'm not sure what would be in a winter set. They have plenty of blues already in their soft touch set, and so I'm wondering what would be in a winter set. White? Lots of white, snow, I don't know. Anyway, but obviously autumn, they are a bit short on sort of, I suppose you've got quite a few darker browns in the harmonious, but there aren't loads of browns or oranges or reds, to be honest. So I think an autumn set is pretty, you know, would be very well needed. But winter, not so sure. Depends what they put in it, I guess. But we'll see. When the harmonious came out, I know they only brought it out on their website for ages. I think it's not long come out on Amazon, and but not everyone can buy from their website, or the postage was a bit expensive. I think for people who've got Amazon Prime and are used to getting free postage, it can seem a little bit expensive to suddenly have to start paying postage. And I think Castle used to do free postage, but they don't anymore. I mean, I can't blame them, because postage is going up and up in price. I wouldn't be surprised if ours gets nationalised again soon. It's getting a little bit tricky for people, I think. Now we're going to do a few leaves. I will have to come out a tad because we can't see them all. So I have been blurring on and colouring quite a bit. We've got these 4 which are directly attached to our sunflower. Sorry about that. So we're going to do those first. Now let's have a little look. We certainly don't want bluey greens. I like mid greens. We've got permanent green and leaf green. They'd be quite good. I'm going to grab those. Where's the permanent green? Can't find them, of course. There's the leaf green. Maybe that there. They're right next to each other. Right, permanent green and leaf green. I'm going to use the permanent green first. Make the bases a little bit darker. So just going around here. Oh, it wants to move all over the place. There we go. And I'm just making it quite intense down here, lots of layers, and then fading it as we go up towards the tip. I'm just going to do exactly the same on each leaf. Now this is a symmetrical page, so I'm not entirely sure what to do with it really, because I don't know if you want to watch me colour every single element where there's so much repetition, or whether to do, I will with these leaves because that's what I've planned to do, but or whether it's better for me just to do a quadrant and then for you to follow the video on each of the other items. I will have a little think, because I think it could take quite a long time. And maybe you want something a bit different. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see what I decide. But at the moment, it doesn't matter. Now we do have these little gaps here, which are always quite bewildering, I think. I'm never quite sure what to do with those. And then we have a line, and then we have a gap, and I can't really work out what is a stem, what is a line, what is a gap. I get myself a little bit confused. So I might have a look back as to how I coloured the page before to give myself a bit of help. I might do that in a minute before we finish this video. So this is the leaf green. I'm just checking that it's significantly lighter. It is a bit lighter. I think it will be fine. I'm going to start it about here. And then take it up towards the tip. Still fading as I go. Like that. And then the same with this one. And we'll finish those tips off with an even lighter green, I think. I feel it's just going to benefit from a little bit of a more yellowy green tone. I think it will match in then. That click sounded like my lead broke. Feels okay. Right, let's use a... Oh, I was going to use... That's a Pasteltint. Oh, I think that's our lightest. Let's use... I'm really tempted. I'm going to use a Pasteltint. I think it's the jasmine in the Pasteltint pencils. I can't even see whether the name's written on that bit. It's the sort of fluorescent yellow. I'm just going to use that for the tip. If you don't have this, go back over with your leaf green, or you could use a yellow like a lemon would also work. Sorry, I was going to use all soft touch, but it just was the colour that I was looking for. There we go. Now I'm gonna stop the video and find my other versions of this page, and then get back to you. Right, here is my first version of this page. Whoops. And what I did was I filled all the little gaps in black on these leaves, strangely, and then left white borders around the black. Okay, but this version, which is much better, which I did a lot later, instead I did black around it and left white, and I think that's far better. It really makes things pop. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's just close these. So I'm going to, I'll show you, I'll do it on part of this. Let's just pop those books away. Okay, so grab the black, and the plan is to do the lines here that are around the edge, like this. So I'm just going to do the ones. Now you could do this in pen. It might be a little bit easier in some ways because you have to keep sharpening because it's quite a small area. But on the other hand, it might be a bit too intense and vibrant. So it might stand out more than the actual items in the picture, if you know what I mean. There, so there's our first one. And we've got one here, the other side of this leaf. And here, I'm not going to do them all on video. I think what I'm going to do, yeah, I think I'm going to go away and do all of them and then show you when I'm done at the end. So in case you aren't quite sure as to which bits need filling in and which bits need leaving white, etc., I'll do it and take a photo for you. Rather than doing it on camera, I will run out of things to say, believe it or not. So I'm going to stop here, do that, then take a photo. So you can hold on till the end, you'll see what I have done. And I'll come back tomorrow and do more leaves, these larger flowers and things like that. But for today, thank you so much for watching and happy colouring.